or we have the moon being hit. We have earthquakes happening all up and down, small earthquakes happening. The University of Idaho has been monitoring those. So, I mean, what's going on with the planet right now? What are your thoughts on this? Because I mean, it's like I'm doing the apocalyptic news stories tonight because they're all coming together in such a fashion that it makes me wonder what really is going on with the planet. 503-225-0860. That's 503-225-0860. Let's go to Dan in Colorado. Hi, Dan. You're on Ground Zero.
Great show, Clyde.
Thank you.
I think on top, you said that we also have to be concerned about a world war.
About what?
A world war, possibly with China and all the other effects going on with the sun.
Yeah.
And differences. And we're definitely way more dependent on technology than ever before. Facebook. And so I'm afraid that people aren't ready for potentially what's coming. And that has me concerned because I used to live off grid. And now I'm surrounded by millions of people that are not prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is people always say, well, I live off the grid and I'm fine. Well, that doesn't matter once people who are not used to living off the grid come in and raid your house, or they come in and say, hey, we want a piece of what you're doing to figure out how to live. I mean, there was those TV shows that were coming out, Don't Look Up. I don't know if you remember that one. And there was that one that the Obamas did talking about this sort of thing where the electromagnetic changes caused cars, Teslas, to basically, they were unmanned and they were driving into each other because they didn't have any direction. GPS models totally shot because of what's happening with a G4 type of event that that's happening right now that could affect us tomorrow, but already affecting, like I say, the Google sites. It's affecting earthquake stuff going on in Barview, Oregon right now, and a whole lot of other things that I'm sure that aren't being reported yet, but they're going to be reported in frequency if we start seeing some major things happening with this G4. This is a pretty big announcement to say that we have a G4 flare coming at us.
One thing that people may want to look at in order to be safe is the connection between solar flares and crime, and to do their own studies for their own neighborhood, and then to warn others how to be safe, how there is an inclination towards fights. There's a lot of studies that people can look up on their own. There's one study from New Scientist that talks about suicide. So it's a longer topic we don't have time right now to get into, but it's something that I've looked at for 20 years, but in particular 2025. So there's been
and also
others that came. Yes.
Also nausea. People get unexplained nausea, get cravings for things like popcorn, cravings for corn chips. What else happens? Oh, and now people having heart problems or having fluctuating hearts that are fluttering. These are the things that are part of the electromagnetic exposure that people start, like I say, they get cravings for certain foods, they feel sick to their stomach, and they don't know what's making them sick. It's because they're having magnetic sickness. They're getting hit by magnetic particles, and their bodies are not used to being hit by magnetic fields, and so they feel sick, they feel weak, they feel tired, they feel like their heart is about to jump out of their chest, they get irritable, and yes, crime increases during times of high magnetic activity.
And my heart's elevated holding a cell phone, and this is the first phone call I've made in 2 months. So we're living in a climate alongside these unnatural electromagnetic weapons, basically, that seem to be weaponized against the population. So for me, like periodically, I went from Dallas up into Colorado just to get away from all the 5G.
Right.
And found that a lot of the mental health, anger, and stress that I was dealing with from living this environment and being away from my home in Portland, having to go off grid back to that county in Colorado to heal. And there are magical places that I found that I'm going to continue to explore. And people need to think about that we are like living in the Truman Show in the modern world if we don't go out and connect with nature.
We have to connect with nature. You're right.
To meditate.
Well, you're right. And we, like I said, I was talking, who was I talking about this with? Was it on the show? I was talking about how get the kids, get out a lawn chair, sit them in the forest, and I'll bet you they'll start feeling the power that is the planet if they are allowed to have some solitude and time for themselves to be and feel the magnetic pull of the earth and the magnetic influence of the earth and how it does affect our mental and physical capabilities and how right now it's doing its part to disrupt a lot of things, and who knows what tomorrow will bring with this G4. I'm hoping it's it's going to be mild. I'm hoping we don't have a Carrington event, because if so, we're going to be really dealing with power failures and problems tomorrow. But like I said, out in front of my apartment complex, we had cable TV trucks lined up. Somehow there was some sort of disruption that they had to work on, and I'm wondering if it had something to do with the solar flare.
Right. Well, I'll listen off there. This is a great show, and I have additional information at a blog entitled Solar Storms and You.substack.com. You can subscribe for free, and I'll have more information tomorrow. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for calling the program and keeping people updated on what this is. The influence of space weather on this planet, I believe, is a fascinating subject. It illustrates how magnetic imbalances can lead to a lot of things: health problems, crustal anomalies where you start seeing earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, all triggered by these disturbances. There's Charles Hapgood. I always talk about Charles Hapgood. The book, The Earth's Shifting Crust, has a foreword by Albert Einstein. And we read about how polar shifts, magnetic shifts, and the theories around magnetic shifts are the indicators that magnetic shifts are easy to detect, because you start noticing different magnetic changes with the magnetic field and how the planet is operating. We're seeing the sweeping changes of the North Pole going south about 30 miles every so many years into Siberia and other places. I mean, if you remember the opening sequence of the disaster movie 2012, the movie 2012 was actually based on Charles Hapgood's theories about crust displacement. And if you remember the opening sequence, there's a huge solar flare, and that solar flare eventually triggers the Yellowstone caldera, San Andreas Fault. We have amazing earthquakes and magnetic disturbances with radios. This is what a G4 can bring us. Let's hope not. Let's hope we're fine and we're unscathed tomorrow. 503-225-0860. That's 503-225-0860. What are your thoughts living through this G4? Do you think something's going to happen, or do you think it's going to be a nothing burger? We'll find out coming up on Ground Zero's Little Things Are Happening. 503-225-0860. That's 503-225-0860. Back with more Ground Zero. Don't go away.
News. I'm Ted Lindner. The government shutdown is over. President